Hello everyone, hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more esports talk. Accusations stemming from last night towards Jay, as he's referred to in these claims, otherwise known as Sinatraa, a former Overwatch pro and now of course in the Valorant scene, a members of Sentinels. At the point of me recording, neither side besides the accusing side, that being of an ex-girlfriend, Cleo, has come out with her post, her lengthy post of accusations towards Sinatraa, including sexual abuse, what some might call sexual assault, as well as an audio clip included in her proof. We await a response from Sinatraa around all of these accusations because they are so serious. So we will wait that one out and talk it out when I assume he will be posting. But for now, let's focus on her side of things, which at face value seems very, very condemning. These are very serious accusations, and let's make sure to show respect out there, guys, as she did come forward with some very serious things. As she started off her post by saying, "I've avoided talking about any aspects of me and Jay's relationship for over a year. I never spoke about it, mostly because this is horrifying and also because I've seen the way women in our community are treated when they try to talk about being hurt by prominent figures. I know he will use his platform and his fame to try and take me down and say this is not true because that's who he is. I'm still scared of him, even after all this time, so I know this will be hard." And right away, she details that she never said she would kill herself if they broke up, and then she was the one to actually break up with him after months of fighting and back and forth what seemed to be a very rocky relationship. She then says she did not want to get back together because she was slightly dependent on Jay or Sinatraa, and even had posted a TikTok making a joke about Sinatraa dating an underage girl who happens to be his current girlfriend. And then she also says she thinks he will try and blame her mental health for this. She even admits to saying things after they broke up that made it seem not as cruel as it truly was, but that she continued to talk to him afterwards out of fear of being alone. And even just in this opening page, there's a lot more detail. If you guys want those finite details, I encourage you to read her full post. It's around 8 to 9 pages, but like I said before, it's pretty condemning. Where it gets very serious is the stuff that certainly is. It should come with a warning for all of you guys, can be disturbing out there as well, as she now also alleges in this post cases of sexual abuse. As she says, "When I started dating Jay, I got an IUD because he refused to use a condom. The first time we ever slept together, I told him I was not on birth control and he could not finish in me. He did it anyways without my consent. This should have been the first red flag, but I was a stupid Overwatch League fan, excited about the fact that Sinatraa was interested in me and looked past it. The IUD made it to that sex was very painful for me. Jay knew this and did not care. I would say it hurt and I wanted to stop, and he'd say, 'No, I'm so close.' As much as it hurt, I learned that he didn't mind hurting me and he had no problem with leaving me crying in the bathroom while he slept. Sometimes, if I said it hurt early on, he'd stop, but most of the time it wasn't a big concern for him that he was hurting me very badly, and if he stopped, it wouldn't be without a guilt trip. I went to the doctor for this to try and solve it because I knew he wasn't going to just magically stop anytime soon. He knew it hurt badly enough for me to go to the doctor and still disregarded my pain. He can't try and say that he just didn't know. He knew." And certainly the biggest part of her accusation, and in these cases, I will say, we have unfortunately had to cover a lot of these, and it's always a question of proof, no matter what side you fall on. And I do agree with her in the sense that proving these things is incredibly difficult. When you are in these kind of relationships, oftentimes, to gather enough proof to constitute anything is extremely difficult. And this is the first time that I've covered a case like this where there actually is an audio recording. What she says was a consensual audio recording, might have been for their own personal reasons, of these two having intercourse. And there are verbal cues here where she is saying no, and what seems to be, and what she claims as well, is him continuing to have sex with her even though you hear her saying no. I am not going to play for you guys this clip. Her post will be linked down below and that clip is in there, but I want to warn you guys, it can be disturbing for some of you, but certainly when it comes time for proof, this is a very, very condemning piece of proof that oftentimes we do not see. So I am very interested in a response from Sinatraa and how he is going to explain away a lot of these accusations. But I will say, just for the fact of the audience here on YouTube, I will not play you guys that clip. but it's pretty bad. It sounds pretty bad. She then continues to talk and give examples about emotional abuse as well, where he would constantly check her location and accuse her of cheating on him, as seen in the text messages where, you know, she apparently was at work. He didn't believe her. He thought that she was leaving him for other people and cheating. And even more so, she goes on where apparently she had tweeted during the Overwatch days after a first map when the Shock, that Sinatra's former team, lost to the Houston Outlaws. She tweets, "Good for Outlaws for learning how to not play GOATs," to which he became extremely upset about, as you guys can see in the text and his responses. Yeah, he definitely got pretty upset over what seems to be just a tweet. And what she kind of reiterates several times throughout her post is what she expects from Sinatraa to be. His main excuse is that her mental health is maybe on a lapse, and that to be his main argument against this. She reiterates that time and time again, then shows her accusations of sexual abuse as well as emotional abuse. And I think the last page is very important to clear up some of the other things as well, which I will read for you guys. But again, if you want all the details, I encourage you to read her entire post, which several people from all over the community have responded to. As she finishes by saying, "It might be a year later, but I'm still dealing with the damage he did to me every single day. I've had to give up interest and loves in an attempt to not see his face or hear his voice. I've called sexual assault survivor hotlines countless times, talked in anonymous groups for women who's been assaulted, spent over a year of my life in therapy trying to heal myself and get back what he took from me. Had nightmares about it and countless nights where I lay in bed and wonder what I did to deserve what he did to me. Seeing people I love praise him regularly while I am still dealing with trying to heal from his treatment, he's wearing me down. But until now, no one knew that he wasn't this incredible person that he pretends to be. He's not reformed. He didn't stop being toxic. He just moved on from bullying kids in game to putting down someone who loved and supported him. Everyone used to know how toxic he was and hurtful, but it seemed like everyone forgot. If you knew that kid, then this shouldn't come as a surprise to you. He is a liar. He is a manipulator. If you read all of this, hi, I know it's long. If this isn't proof enough, I'm not sure anything ever will get to you to understand the hurt that has been done to me by this man. It's not his word against mine. It's his word against multiple points of proof and an audio of his voice not allowing me to say no to having sex. Also, to everyone who says, why didn't you just go to the police? I thought about it for weeks. I stood outside a police station and stared at it for like 20 minutes, then walked home. I didn't physically fight him. I wasn't scared of him killing me or anyone I loved. I was not unconscious, and that's what legally constitutes rape. I said no countless times, but because I gave in due to the fear of emotional abuse rather than physical abuse, it's harder to get a conviction, even with proof. But fear is a very powerful emotion, and for a lot of survivors of sexual abuse, it looks like freezing up and just letting it happen in the hopes that it would be over faster. You all always say there's no proof, so you can't believe a woman accusing someone, and I'm begging you to realize I have concrete proof you're looking for, and to believe me and hear me. This is the scariest thing I've ever done, and I wouldn't risk having thousands of people hounding me to just be lying. He's too established for me saying he harmed me to do any real damage, and I know that. I don't want to make him feel anywhere near the way he made me feel. I just don't want to keep this secret for him any longer. Up until now, I was doing him the favor of keeping my mouth shut and allowing him to say whatever he wanted about me, but I don't want to do that anymore. And he himself might not have been too publicly vocal about it, but I refuse to blame his girlfriend for her actions based on his words. So I say that he was saying what he wanted about me because he was facilitating that rumor spreading. Trust me, I know he's charming, I know he's funny, I know he's a very significant person in esports, but if he can just say that's not true and everyone goes to his side after everything I've shown, it truly goes to show that y'all just don't believe women and would rather ignore your idol's misgivings than stand by a victim. If you can convince yourself I was joking in that audio, if you can tell yourself she wasn't physically fighting him enough, she didn't say no hard enough, then you weren't going to believe me at any point, and please don't try and tell me I'm ruining his reputation. I'm making it more accurate. So obviously an extremely gutting post to have to read to all of you guys. I can't imagine experiencing this and having to, of course, come out and talk about this as well, to which I give my respect to Cleo, and I really do hope we get the response from Sinatraa. You know, to be fair to both sides, I am extremely curious how he will respond to this kind of situation, along with this organization, that being the Sentinels. You have heard one side, let's hear another, but if I'm here to be honest with all of you guys, this is certainly a serious array of accusations. And again, like I said prior, the most proof we have seen in covering these very unfortunate circumstances. So until next time, I am sure we will keep on talking about this very, very serious case, but take care of yourselves, and I'll see you back here sometime soon.